Hi guys, welcome to another LivinginSAtv video. David here. Today we are starting with a new series called Entrepreneurial, where we're going to speak with several South African entrepreneurs and learn about their success stories and know how they started. Today we are speaking with the CEO behind the Southern Africa Youth Project. His name is Neftaly Malatjie. Stay tuned because this video once again will blow your mind. Hi everyone, welcome to another Living in SA podcast. David here. This is the beginning of a new series called South African Entrepreneurial. And today we have our first guest, and his name is Neftaly. And he has an amazing business idea and has been working on it for quite a long time. So I invited him in order so we can talk about it in depth. Hi Neftaly, how are you?
I'm fine, thanks. And how are you?
I'm very good also. Nice to see you today.
Thank you for having me.
It's only a pleasure. Okay, guys, let me just quickly make you guys a presentation so we know more who is Neftaly Malatjie. Neftaly is a social entrepreneur who founded the Southern Africa Youth Project, a global youth development non-profit institution that serves over 10,000 youth daily in Africa with online digital training programs, work readiness, employment opportunities, and addresses the social challenges faced by youth in Africa. Neftaly, this is so inspiring. Thank you so much. Let's go to the first question. How the idea for the business started? What was the market gap?
Actually, I'm a social entrepreneur. So, being a social entrepreneur, it means that I'm in the business of changing people's lives. So, how the idea started, it started as a group of young people who were playing in the afternoon. So, we were keeping ourselves busy. And the gap that we've actually identified was that there are so many young people that have completed high school, that have graduated, that have actually also graduated from university, but they were unable to get into the markets because of one, there's a lot of complaints, two, lots of lack of information. So information is everywhere, but it becomes overwhelming for young people that are stuck into one maybe social media channel. So we realized that we need to come into the space and then bridge gap between unemployment, getting opportunities, as well as preparing yourself into getting into the employment market. So then we then said we need to stand in the middle and then becoming a bridge so that these people can be able to come to one location and be able to benefit, which then the Southern Africa Youth Project was born.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. Second question, what services you offer to the market?
Okay, we've got services for three sectors or industries. We've got individuals. These are people that are actually, previously it was people that were unemployed or either sitting at home, but now it's now integrated to young people, the youth, those who are looking forward to starting an idea or either going to further their studies or looking for opportunities. So the second market that we also work with is these are your small to large businesses that are looking to replicate the model that we've already established. And then three, we also work with your government departments as well as international institutions. So the services which we offer, one is we offer community development interventions. So with community development, we go deep into townships, cities, rural areas. We work with more than 500 communities serving over 10,000. The list is growing every day, where young people come into our online portals, they register, they access training as well as development programs. And then also the second thing that we do is we've got membership opportunities where organizations as well as businesses that would want to venture into corporate training and pure capacity building, or either to roll out trainings in their own communities. They subscribe to become members, and then they resell and sell our programs, as well as to offer those programs which may also be sponsored or supported. And then there's third service that we offer, it's an SME support unit. So what we do there is that through the skills that we've learned, one is your web development, online marketing, online communications, your company registrations, as well as company consulting services. So this is where we then at SME support these businesses so that they can focus on making sense rather than for them to be focusing on the taxman, company certificate expiring and all that. And then finally, it's we then collaborate with other institutions based on their projects that they would want to roll out into communities. And then we would partner with them, then we would run according to their own specifications.
Very nice. Okay, so next question. What were your challenges when starting up the business?
The challenges that were there, one is I started this out of passion. So when you start something out of passion, you sometimes get into making lots of mistakes. Two, it was we were doing lots of things and we were not ready. And then three, it was access to markets. So I would say things like, we had people, we had clients, beneficiaries, people that are waiting to receive service, but we were not having donors, we were not having grant makers that would come and back up our ideas. And then another thing that we also had was because of we were working manually, so we relied a lot on paper, and having lots of papers, it was too much administrative work. So I would have my team doing lots of admin rather than for them to be managing the whole business processes. And then also is that, when you are a visionary, you've got this big idea, but because of you do not have enough funds or money to pay your staff. And then it means that I had to rely a lot on, young people that were not experienced, that I had to build myself. It took so much time for me to teach people. And sometimes when you think now we are ready to now start rolling out, and then sometimes you also lose the people that you've actually built, because they would get somewhere where they could earn a living and you could not do that. And then also the challenge was things were so slow. We wanted things to happen so fast. But then we realized that, only to realize now, that actually we were supposed to take things one step at a time so that we can reach to where we are. But we wanted things to happen so fast, where we were running around and we were actually not focused. We were running so fast to the level that we were jumping certain steps. And in doing that, things didn't work out the way we actually wanted. Things were so slow to the level that we had to learn all the steps that we needed to get to where we are at the moment.
Very well. So tell me, what type of skills you needed to teach yourself in order to achieve success? Let's put it this way.
I wouldn't say to reach success, but what I would say, in order for us to be sustainable, ongoing, I had to learn marketing the different way. I had to learn how do, business people do it. You get me? And also how can I actually be hands-on and be able to be part of this whole process. So for me, learning marketing 365, it was very important, because then now it actually has assisted me to now share the skills and the knowledge. I spent almost more than 6 years, strictly on YouTube, learning all the different tactics. How are they selling, your search engine optimization, your online web design, your article writing, your creative professional writing, as well as your, like how do you actually set yourself apart? I've also done lots of research. I've looked at global big institutions, how do they do their things from there, and also referring to, bigger institutions. So I had to look at things that were bigger than me. And I was like, okay, how do I actually position myself in that level, in order for me to be able to compete with them? Because I'll give you an example. There are lots of businesses that are, huge businesses. And one of the big things that I've realized with them is that these big businesses, they are actually doing charity, but in a business way. And how do I actually tap into that market so that I can continue doing what's close to my heart, which is to change people's lives? So for me, it's learning marketing 365, SEO, Google, online creative writing, as well as your web development, which is what I do most of my time.
Very well.
And also I got social media.
Very well. Tell me one thing. So where are your offices located?
I would say now we do have people are working from home now. Mm-hmm. So we do have one office which is based in Diepsloot. But I would say Diepsloot is only it's only as a model center. So that's where anybody that is looking to either adopt our idea or either to learn from us would then go in to see how the structure is actually set up. But now I would say 70% we are operating directly from home.
Very well.
The challenge that I am facing at the moment is that you have got people, and these people, they are already overloaded with work. You can't even put more pressure on them. There is a need for certain skills that I've actually realized that they are very important. And at the moment, it's very difficult, because if you move people from what they're doing to something else, it becomes a challenge. So I think at the moment we are in demand, of people that are actually going to, cover some of the gaps that I've actually noticed to make sure that we become a fully fledged institution. And another challenge that also we have is we need money. I can't hide that. We need money. And so when we need money is that there are so many young people out there. I drive a lot into communities, into townships, into rural areas, as well in cities. And I see these young people that are just roaming around on the streets. And they keep on reminding me, this was me 15 years ago when I started my idea. And one of the things that happened was I remember walking into the city trying to look for opportunities, and it was so difficult. And my institution is there to make sure that we'd rather take them out instead of them walking. Why don't they get a central place where they can get all these things at once? You get me? So the challenge that we have is that we need money. And when we need this money is that if we can get enough funding, then it will give me pressure. I'm not afraid of any pressure. I've developed state-of-the-art systems that can even accommodate 1 million people logged in at the same time, so that I can be able to make as much noise, telling people from all these communities, right? It doesn't matter what medium I'll be using, whether social media or TV or whatever, say, hey, look at this. This is what you need. Go in there. Firstly, even if you are educated, you can still continue, register yourself. When you register, we'll come back to you and remind you almost on a daily basis to say, hey, we've published 50 jobs. Please go in there and try your luck. Applies, then we automate the process that your CV gets to employers. And you'll never know what will pop out for you. And another challenge that we are also facing is that it's very expensive to run these tools. You get me? So we need injection of support that could be of long term. I'm currently working with developers from Asia, from Europe, and from South America. These are very talented people, and from the thinking that I've always had is that they can customize my tools to make sure that they speak to what these young people need. But it's very expensive for me to contract them on a long term. If I would contract them for the whole year now, we won't even have salaries to pay for people, or either to pay our bills to operate. You get me? And then also, the other challenge that I'm also facing at the moment is that the idea is quite huge. The demand is so huge. On a daily basis, there's lots of young people that are coming in, and we would want to charge them. That in the long run, yes, now is the goal is that people need to go into the system and be able to buy for themselves. But now, because of we need certain skills, and when we need those skills, it's quite expensive, to hire such people. I remember I went into this freelancer platform to get freelancers to come and work for me, and I realized that wow, there's so much potential for them to come and help me, so that we can be able to reach out. But then the challenge is that we need money also. Enough money to be able to budget for them specifically. You get me? As I was driving, and I was like, okay, wow. If somebody could just pop in and say, it's either a donation or rather an investment, then and if this person pops in, then I would know that we actually can achieve the goal. We are not looking, I think the other challenge is that we also were relying a lot on people giving us, donating, doing handovers. We already are working on, it's a challenge now, but we would want to make sure that if people are giving us, so rather it becomes 2%, and then 98% we will be self-funded. And then also another challenge is that there is a need for us to go into investments. And then in investments, it means that we need to be able to put our money away for such a long time without even thinking about it. Whatever that pops in, rather it goes, if there are payments from dividends, then it goes into investments. We need that so that we could be able to be self-sustainable and be able to support ourselves for a long time.
Perfect, thank you. Okay, so my question now, so you found out an issue that the market had, you created a product. My question is, how long do you actually take to create a new product or service for the market?
For me, if I would tell you about what is currently happening now, is that when you start like a product for people, it can take you 9 years. On the 9th year, that's when now it started to see clients coming in. I'm talking about a free service, not a service which people pay. And then from 2014, there were lots of mistakes. You know, we worked on paper, and I was doing lots of TV interviews, not focusing on the products, not focusing on my people. I realized in 2018 that we are doing so well. The numbers were rising, we're going higher and higher, but we could not give people what they wanted, which is the exit. So I would say you need at least 10 to 15 years if you are not, if you rely on grace. I mean, you don't have investments and all that. You get me? But if you do have support, then that's another thing. You can have support, you receive monies, and then you make so much noise. And then from there, then your idea would then collapse. And through that process, I have changed. I have actually, I would say I started as a basic. So basic, let me tell you about training. We used to do workshops at the beginning, and people enjoyed them. And then, but then there was, you can't train people without accreditation. You can't be training if you're not certified. We then went for accreditation, and we failed after receiving accreditation because we were training the traditional way of workshops, and we could not issue certificates. And then somebody came in and said, we are coming to audit you. And it was like, oh my God, we need to fix ourselves. We fixed, and then we had to print. Now people had to do those things. By the time we thought, wow, let's celebrate. When those people came in to check, they found out that there were mistakes. Then we had to reinvent, and I said, no, I'm enough with papers. I had to now go in online. And when you go online and create, now remember I had to run away from creating. There it was a physical product because people would come in and ask us. And now I'm creating a product which people will have to buy on their own. It has to be convincing from, you know, wherever they find it from. And then we became experts, you know, people loved it. But I can still tell you that even now, when we are already delivering, having so many thousands of people, you know, enjoying themselves and having fun with our products and services. But I can still tell you that we are still in development because these people are, if you can go into our call center portal, you will see we chat with more than 500 people every minute. And they're like, yeah, I'm in this thing, it's not working. And they're like, okay, please hold on a second. And then we go to technical tech team and they go look at the check. They quickly check, we have to go back and give feedback. And in that way, but I love it now because we are now doing what we call product development. We are now doing what we call user satisfaction. But yes, to answer your question, if you were to do an idea, there's no one size fits all. But from my experience, it took me more than 13 years before I can say, yes, it is working. I remember previously I used to do lots of media coverages, but then I stopped. I said, we will not do, you saw when you even sent me an invitation, we said, we will not do any TV interview until we fix our house. And indeed, we've managed to do that. Now I'm no longer worried at all.
Perfect. It's very nice to know from your experience and, you know, your difficulties and everything, you know. Even creating a YouTube channel is a business development project itself, you know, coming up with ideas, new content, organizing ideas.
I'm still thinking about it. You know, we do have a YouTube channel with more than, I don't know, maybe 200 videos. And if I can tell you that I had to sit in and do research, you know, like, okay, how do I do it? What do people want to see? What is working? What is not working? I was even telling he is our former client. Now he's he started a business. He's now doing this video shooting and all that. And I was telling him that, yeah, now I want to talk to you. There's lots of ideas that are popping in my head, but I need someone to offload me because I'm not a person who likes, to be out there. I prefer to be locked indoor. So then he said, yes, you can. But then there was, what do you want to do? And I said, no, I don't know. You get me? So it's, starting an idea, it can be so disappointing. And one of the things that you need to be very strong of is the comments. So, and yes, what I also love about comments is that even on our site is that we've made each and every section to be open for comments, because we want people to
engage,
to give us input. Yes. And then also even on our courses, even though you are doing your lessons, but we want to make sure that below there is a question that comes your way that would ask you, what do you think about this program? What do you think about this program? And then what do you think we could be able to do? And from that, that's why you see that book. Every time I receive calls from other organizations, other institutions, other individuals, and they're saying lots of beautiful things. And I'm like, no, I'm not going to postpone anything. So immediately after this call, I work all the time to make sure that all the ideas are written. But one of the things that you should be aware of is that it will take time. It takes time. You put it out there, make sure that you write as much as possible. So if I'm talking now, you write whatever that I'm saying. I've learned that if you don't write, you don't expect yourself to be successful. And one of my biggest priority now is writing. It doesn't matter whether we do it video or whatever, but whatever that is being said, it needs to be put into writing, because in order for people to see what is happening now, they need to see it in writing. You cannot Google voice, but you can Google words. You get me? So that's one of the things that I then said. So if now this video is being created, in order for it to have a breakthrough, if yes, we will be making noise and people would want to investigate or check or see what kind of a person is this Neftaly, they can only see me through writing. And it will take you time to make sure that you reach that, but you need to look also at what are you saying. You cannot expect people to find you if you just write things that are not what people will be asking for.
Okay, so South Africa has a very high unemployment rate. So people are encouraged to be entrepreneurial and start their own business. What advice do you have for young South African entrepreneurs?
It's whatever that you are thinking about now, please write it down. And then after writing it down, since you are watching this on YouTube, please use this channel to do research. Learn as much as you can. And then from there, then you start your idea. There is no time to postpone. Then from there, when you've done that, you need to look at people that are your role models. Look at people that are actually doing something similar to your idea. And then look at them. Ask yourself, how are they surviving? Open videos, listen to what they have to say. Look at other videos that talks about anything. And for me, it's whatever first video that pops your way, look at it. Whatever article that pops your way, whatever question that you have in your mind, write about it. And then also start to learn from it, because once you start doing that, then it will give you an opportunity to go to your next step. You'll never know, maybe you'll be bigger than the already existing business. But the advice that I would give to young people that are thinking of starting businesses now is that you may fail, and it's not a bad thing. And once you fail, I want you to not quit. I want you to start looking at what made you fail. You get me? You need to start asking yourself lots of questions. If there are those negative ideas, you need to start looking into why did I fail? And then so that you start working on that. Because if now you try something and then from there then it fails, then you change your mind to go and do something else, then you are actually also, you might even fail because you do not want to face what did not work for you. So you need to now look into what you tried and it failed, and then you start to improve on that. We have made lots of mistakes, and one of the things that I regret as an entrepreneur, it's starting something and then all of a sudden then you scratch it out and you never think about it again. That is something that I would encourage each and every person, that if you are thinking of something, please do it. If you fail, do as much research, look at people, listen to videos, read lots of articles. If you can, and you've got access to people that are in that industry, please go there and spend at least 1 month or 2 months so that you can then learn from them.
Very nice. You mentioned already a thing that it's very important, which is committing mistakes. And people don't realize how committing mistakes is such an important foundation for your development as a person and as also a business person. And it's also, we live in a society that if you're asking too many questions, it's not positive, and we need to change that mindset. Asking a lot of questions, it means you understand the concept and you want to learn more. So if you ask a lot of questions and people try to shut you down, continue asking those questions. And if nobody gives you replies, go after those answers in order so you can move forward. And that's a very important thing you just mentioned. Thank you so much. It was very inspiring to hear you, Neftaly. Thank you so much. Well, this is everything for now. I don't know if you want to add something else before we finish this podcast.
No, I don't want to add anything.
All right, perfect. Okay, guys, this was another amazing first entrepreneurial podcast in South Africa. I hope you guys enjoy. Comment down below. I would love to know your guys' comments, ideas, and all that. Tell me what you guys think, and see you in the next LivinginSAtv podcast. Okay, guys, so I hope you guys enjoyed this first episode of this new series, SA Entrepreneurial. Make sure that you put your ideas, comments, anything down below, and I will see you in the next LivinginSAtv SA Entrepreneurial podcast.